Welcome back to All the Crackers in the Box. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of thrifted yarn, some finished diamond art, a couple odds and ends, maybe a little work and chat with me for a few minutes. We'll see what's up. Thanks for joining me today. Hi there. Gotta put some lotion on. I've been doing a lot of cleaning. A little late on my video here for my own timeline, I guess. Took a nice walk to the beach with my youngest and my husband while my son was at work and my other daughter was at school. And a seedling from one of the trees ended up in my eye. Lucky me. I like going for walks once in a while in nature, but nature always attacks me. We went to this waterfall that's nearby, about 15 minutes away. Gorgeous, absolutely stunning. We went there, we walked around for 45 minutes. This was a few years ago, and we haven't been back since because it's just, everyone just laughs every time. On my hat that I wore, because I'm that girl, I wore sunscreen, hats, all that stuff, because I already know I'm going to end up bringing home friends. A ladybug had laid a whole whack of eggs on the top of my head somewhere along our walk. To this day, I have never met anyone else that's ever happened to, coming home with ladybug eggs on your hat. Anyway, so got in this eye. My eye was red, puffy. I had to spend a day with my eyes shut. I think I scratched my eye. It was really painful. Luckily, I have an eye wash station here at home. So we got me home and washed out my eye, and I was kind of out of commission for a while. Yesterday, I spent the day straightening up the house because I was out of commission for a day, so the toys were overwhelming, the floors needed to be done, the dishes were overcrowding, and it was just sneaking up on bathroom day, which is today, so that was today's big adventure, and changing out and vacuuming out the furnace room. So I had to change out the filter, and I needed to vacuum out the room because it is connected to outside, so I like to keep it as dust free as possible. My son has dust allergies, so I try to keep things as clean as possible. Within the next week, I'm taking a toothbrush and vinegar and cleaning out all the different vents, because my vents are unable to come out of the wall or ceiling area to clean them. The ones on the floor upstairs I can, but everywhere else they're up above in the bulkhead, and they have screws that are behind a grate, and I don't have the right screwdriver right now to do it, and I just don't feel like messing with it. I'm sure I could figure something out with all the tools I have, but I'll just use a toothbrush. It worked out really well with the one that was really blowing out a lot of dust, and it really cleared it up. And I put a cup of vinegar in the furnace room to hopefully help bring it down. Wow, I'm blabbing about cleaning, which is one of my main things I do. I've done it for years as a living. I was a professional cleaner for 5 years, so cleaning is a big part, and once in a while I will mention it. Sorry if it's boring. What else is new? I've been feeling extra anxious. We've been getting warnings from the government around here that we are expected to have a massive drought and a really bad fire year, and around here we have a lot of years of bad fires. So I have suitcases that I need to start packing up of stuff. I was dozing off during the main thing, and I was dreaming about which of my pretty yarns I'm going to sneak into my bag, because oh my gosh, I'm trying to stay calm. We've been very lucky and never had to evacuate, but you know, that can change. I already have almost all our important paperwork accessible, fast to grab, because we live in an apartment. We've had the fire smoke alarm go off at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was an actual fire in the building, so that was really keeps me on top of the fire thing, where I have a bag ready for when it's time to run out in the middle of the night, just in case. Anyways, my anxiety is in full bloom right now, and I'm trying my best to keep it together, and hopefully we can relax together looking at some pretty yarns and talking about my zen place, which is my yarn. So before we started the video, I went through and put away a bunch of my yarn that had been sleeping on my bed with me. About 3 giant balls of black, a couple reds. They live behind these ones back here, all my mega balls, my biggest ones, just because I can double up. So you're seeing just the front. Know that there's another layer behind almost all of them, because these are very deep. A shelving unit. It was a pantry with doors, and when I got it, I took the doors off because somebody in my building was moving and didn't want to move it, and I was like, hey, I could use that in my laundry room. And now it's been moved around the house, and for now it's in here before it makes its way out of my household when I get something that's a little more what I'm looking for. I want something that has a closing front, so I don't have to worry about moths, because we do have moth problems around here, and I worry, and my mom constantly worries about moths getting into my stash. I'd be devastated. So anyway, I've done a lot of cleaning, a lot of crafting, not a lot of sleeping. I'm doing a lot of nap sleeping right now, so right now it's like 12:30 at night. Everyone in the house is sleeping. I've got the microphone near my face because my daughters are having a sleepover in here and I don't want to disturb them. Anyways, I was able to receive a couple really nice little dollar store yarns from the thrift shop. Minty green. It's nothing spectacular. They're not too soft or anything, but they're nice and thin. It says it is 100% acrylic, knitting worsted weight, no dye lot. Let's see what that says. That's really hard to read. That is 3.25 knitting needle, 3.25 crochet, and it's called Baby Yarn from Charmin, and it is 50 grams, 1 3/4 ounces. Baby green. Yeah, I looked it up, and this is made in Canada, and it is a dollar store only yarn, so it is unique. My dollar store doesn't usually carry that one, so we're just going to put it there with my scrap yarns. This is the one I wanted more. Same deal, same size. I was looking at this yellow when I was in there last, and we ended up getting a little stuffy bear for my daughter instead of yarn for me, which I was fine with. Only had a little pocket change that day. That's cool. So we have this yellow. I wanted this yellow because I thought it would go this Mary Maxim yellow. And the kind this one is Mary Maxim Twinkle. Need to hide my face, I guess, to get you to. Yeah, there you go. Don't look at me. Look at the pretty yarn. This one is. It is machine washable and dryable. Wash using gentle cycle for 2 minutes. Tumble dry using low heat. Maximum of 5 minutes. So this is a really delicate, really fuzzy, soft yarn. And I really didn't think much of it. Of the yellow dollar store one, I thought maybe they'd match up. They're close. This is a superfine one weight, 3.25 millimeter crochet hook, 3.25 knitting needle. And my mom got this to go with my granny square blanket she started 40 years ago and has been struggling to find the right yarn, so she has bits and pieces of some left over. This one I believe is the Baby Love purple, so it is not exactly the same. It has a little more of a shine, which is fine. But this yellow, kind of wanted to match it up. They're super close in color, but the texture is so different. So I'll see what I can do. I have some ideas of what I wanted to do with these little bits. And yeah, sorry about the crinkle. I just try to keep this closed, the stuff I'm not using right away or dusting, and like these get dusted constantly. I'm constantly over here squeezing them for when I'm stressed out, because I mean, who doesn't like to squeeze yarn when you're stressed? I love it. Okay, so let's move on. Haven't been working on my puzzle much. It's sitting right here in front of me. I got little pieces that I'm kind of looking at, maybe putting it together. Might be nice to have a little puzzle time. Sorry, got distracted by a couple pieces that look like they might fit together. They didn't. I wanted to, my son's been getting me a bunch of very reasonably priced diamond arts from Temu, so I thought it's time I finished one. Been working on this one for quite a while. A few people on Facebook have just finished it on one of my diamond art clubs, so my husband was very critical about the face on Jack Skellington. I think it looks just fine. I'm happy with it. His face doesn't look as detailed as the one on there, but the pumpkins on mine look way more detailed. Paranorman, he looks a little bit off, but especially if you're up close. But when you're back a little bit, it's not so bad. So this is going to go into my done pile. Just going to put this protective sheet over it until I can get a nice frame from the Dollarama with the plastic front on it. That way I don't have to worry about sealing it, because of course the diamonds sometimes do come off on some of these cheaper ones, and that's just the price you pay, and that's okay with me. I just wanted them to be a less scary Halloween decoration that I can hang up all over the house, or to change them throughout the year. Like, oh, I don't know, for 2 months we'll have this scary picture up, and then we'll put this less scary one up, or this really cutesy one. I love art. I love different art. Like my canvas with my smoking skeleton. I don't know where I want to put that. If I showed the art I have in my room, which unfortunately is probably copyrighted, I'm not 100% sure if I could show it, but it is comic book pictures that I really enjoyed, and I did my own version inspired by them, and I've had them up for about 20 some odd years. I admire the artists that did them. I do own the comic books they all came from. I paid everything I can. I've bought toys from this particular artist. I'll do whatever I can to support him, but these were for me to enlarge, and they're just in my room. I've never sold them, but I don't know if I should be showing them, even if I have made little changes to make them my own. I would have to look into that, and I'm not 100% sure that that would be okay to do. So if anybody knows, that please let me know. I'd love to show them all. Maybe. My paintings are a little bit private in some ways. I really haven't painted in a long time, just because it's a very intensive process for me to paint, because I have to have a specific mindset, being that I do comic book pictures, and the type of color shading and stuff are very concentrative, and with small children in the house, I haven't found any time in the last like 6 or 7 years, being that I've gone from a 4-year-old to a new baby, blah 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 blah. But in the next 2, maybe 3 years, I'll be able to pick up my paintbrushes again and really give her, which is going to be amazing. Alright, well, I'm going to pull up a couple of my things I've been working on this week. This week, I spent a little time with my summer shirt. Proud to say I've gotten to my middle. So this goes right over my head. And it fits the way I want it to. And I don't want to unravel too much. I think I just lost a piece of my puzzle down there. Oh well. I'll get it later. It's no big deal. So it's got a gorgeous drape to it. It's going to hang on me in a way that's gonna help keep me protected from the sun, which is what I'm looking for. Let's see if I can stand up without losing any of my... I love the color gradient. I just love it so much, and being that the sun attacks me, it does not take me very long to burn in the sun anymore, like especially in here and on my shoulders. I wanted extra coverage up here so I can get away with like a sports bra or something underneath it, or figuring it out. I am going to sew up this particular area down in here. It all depends on how it lays and all that. I might just do a small amount at the very bottom because it is a lot longer than I was expecting. I have quite a bit left to work with on this end, and like I said, I've got all of this on this end to work with, but I do like how this is together. So this was inspired by a few things I've seen on Pinterest and a few fashion magazines. I've always been quite into fashion magazines, so this is definitely... I absolutely adore the colors. Like, I love them. And if I get a little more sun and spend a little more time outside, the colors will look really good on me. They'd look really nice on me anyways. Even if nobody likes them, I like them. So that'll go far for me. I'm going to put this back in my bag. And it is being done up with 3.5, which I believe... yeah. Now, I have two 3.5s. They are pretty much the same, right? They look very similar. This one came from my bingo winnings from Hobie. So, it's supposed to live there. I use these ones just for garments. They are for wearables only. The other set I got really cheap at Amazon, and they're wonderful. Don't get me wrong, I really like them. I have made garments with them, but this 3.5 is been my go-to for amigurumis, and it's loose. Like, it pops right out because I have just manhandled this thing. But it's my favorite. I love this one. So when I'm doing amigurumis, I reach for this yellow one, which I'm trying to push back in with my hand. Another great way to do it. There we go, got it back in. But it's got a good grip. The grip is still really nice, and it only slides a little bit because I like my amigurumis to be really tight. So I do really, really, really tight stitches. Speaking of amigurumis, let's talk about my Father's Day extravaganza. Pull out my incognito bag. Okay, so I picked the most pinkest flowery bag so Dad would keep out, and put on some Amazon Prime last night and really made some progress. We got some legs and got some cute little feet. I'm having a bit of a time over here. I had to pull out not about this much more, but what happened here is right in this spot here. You see this line? This row here is a slip stitch. 7 slip stitches. This is driving me absolutely crazy. I hate this. So I put it away last night after putting them in and realizing it's still even trying to do front loop back, like, the instructions doesn't have a clear way through it. I don't know how other people have dealt with it, because I've seen other people making this one. It is a free pattern. I'm not complaining about that. I appreciate that. It's one of the nicer ones that I have found for this particular character. I liked the idea of the plastic in the bottom of the soles to keep the soles flat. So there's a piece of plastic from a Barbie case, from a brand new Barbie, so the outside plastic, I cut 2 of them and they fit really nicely in the feet. Are pretty much the same, I think. Let's see if we can get you to focus on them. See, nice tight stitching. I like my tight stitching. I watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Never seen it, so that was on Tubi, so I decided to watch that one while I stitch these on. I'm not crazy about them. I probably should have used a thinner white, but it is the same white I used on there, so I will live with it. But anyways, this line here. Got this row of slip stitches to keep this all even. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go to the row below them and stitch them in. So I'm going to try that a little later with my trusty. They go together. See how pretty that is? Oh, nice. But I think I've got the next part down where I'm going to have to mark off where I'm going to have to do a front loop row to show the edging of the jeans of his overalls, and then go from there. And then I've got a place where my markers are going, so that way I know where the bib is, I know where the shirt is, I know where this piece is, because it is overalls he's wearing and a striped shirt. Kind of nervous about the striped shirt, I will be honest. The head's going to be the easiest part. I don't have a peachy color though, so I think I'm going to go with a beige, which is kind of a doll color. We have beige colored dolls, and I might have to blush him maybe with a pink eyeshadow I have. I haven't completely decided. I might just leave it as is. I might also see if I can go get some peachy type yarn. I'll figure it out, because the peaches I have a super shiny peach, which is the wrong shade. I've got one that's an antique peach, but I've only got a tiny bit of it, and I need face and hands, so I'm definitely going to have to be thinking about that one. So those are my main ones that I'm doing right now, right? Was there another? Oh, there is another one. There is the eye mask, which is totally kicking my butt. I'm going to have to watch some other videos on how to do eye masks, because I get to hear this is only supposed to be 4 rows. It's not a complicated one. The flowers are fine, everything else is fine, but for some reason, I'm not sure if you're supposed to turn. It says to slip stitch right here, right? Slip stitch and then you chain 1. Now, am I supposed to turn back this way? Because it changes the amount. Like, I'm just going back and forth, and this is the first time I've used the Bernette satin. Nice and soft. I gotta make 2 of them, so I've been back and forth, and it's the weekend again, so my daughter's home. Here are my other colors for it, and I'm trying to decide a few things on the fly, because it's a new type of project I've never tried before, so I'm kind of hard on myself on how they turn out. And the only other thing I've been working on is down here. Put them away. This is, I did some cleaning today, and then gave myself 15 minutes of Golden Girls time. Look at that shine on those girls. Not too bad. This is my first one from Temu. I've got a few more Amazon ones to finish, but I really wanted to try out one of the Temus. I'm going to pull down this, so please excuse the crinkle if that's the thing that bothers a person. But I'm just trying to check out the quality. So there's quite a bit of shine. No better, no worse than what I already have. I know it's small, so I fully expect like things like their mouths and their eyes to not be as defined. And the writing says "Stay Golden." I'm hoping to find a smaller, propped up frame for them and sticking it on a bookshelf or something. Just moving it around the house. Just a little picture of my family of Golden Girls, because, you know, I just love Blanche. Blanche is the greatest. Picture this, Sicily, 1912. Yes, thank you. This is what I have left for my Michael's roving that I use for my son's pillow, which went over like crazy. He says it's soft, it's comfy. I washed it in a lavender wash, so it smells great. I'm just going to put this aside in my bucket here that also has all of my Carnival left over, so I'm hoping to maybe get something going with some roving. And I've got more of the, got so much stuff here to go through and move around. I have a few bags behind me with some, and I've made some space up above in one of the bigger boxes for some of these bigger ones, like my Bay Day ones that I just got. I have the room for them, it's just I haven't gotten around to cleaning my own room because it's always my last room. I'll clean my ensuite because the girls use my ensuite constantly because they're always in and out of my room. If I'm in my room working, they're in here watching TV or doing whatever. I don't always want to work in the living room. It just depends on my mood, because sometimes my husband wants to watch something else, or it's loud, or it's this, or it's that, or it's just not where I'm comfortable. So sometimes I just want to sit in here with my yarn because this is where it is, and I want to be by my yarn while I'm working on it. And we're hoping that now that I can close these better, this is one of my first tries. I was really, really upset at myself for making this so lumpy. Like, what was I thinking? I didn't know how to close around. So this is actually supposed to be a hacky sack. I have a couple people that want to buy these hacky sacks off of me, and I've got a balloon filled with, I believe it's dried peas, I think it was. It was something that we weren't going to eat that was sitting in my cupboard for a while, but we're trying different beads and stuff like that. I do have some beads, and it ended up with this great big lump. So you'll see these from time to time as I'm trying to figure out how to do a good pattern. Like my color change was beauty, right? I was practicing that too as well. But it does make a really nice stress ball. So I made this, and when my hand, like this one has been giving me a little trouble with the crochet, I'll squeeze it. I'll lay there in my bed at night while the girls are sleeping, watching YouTube. Like I've got Affordable Crafty with the Yarn Geek and Kim from Affordable Crafty doing their lives, because I've slept through a couple, so I've missed them. But I sit there and do this. Sometimes I'll do my crochet, but there are a lot of times where I need to do this because I'm feeling it right in here, but I'm also feeling a lot of strain in here for the past couple weeks, so it's been slowing down my crochet, and I do not want to end up with long-term damage, so I'm doing a lot of hand massaging, wearing my compression gloves. So I know, like, I could power through it, but I'm worried that I'm going to give myself permanent damage, so I'm trying really hard to not permanently damage myself. So anyways, I feel like I've just sat here rambling. This is not my usual way of doing videos. Usually I do a lot of editing, but I'm feeling very tired in the last couple of days, so I thought I'd just do a long run and see how I liked it, because I know a lot of people who are in the yarn world, they do their videos like this, which is wonderful. I like both ways, I think, and I'm a new channel, so I'm experimenting. My last one was just kind of me half asleep slapping together some stuff, and I wasn't very, very proud of my work. I would love to do better. Just give me some feedback if there are things that I could improve on. If it's hard to understand me, I don't know what I'm doing because nobody's commenting on anything really, and I'm not sure how this is going. I'm getting some views, which are whatever. Like, if you want to watch. I just hope the people that are watching are enjoying the company, because that's basically what I'm making it for, is just to talk to people about what I'm interested in and hopefully get some feedback on other people with what they're interested in if they feel like it. They don't have to. I'm just sort of rambling right now because I'm feeling a little on the spot here. So anyways, I'm going to cut this short now. I want to get back to doing some crochet and, like I said, find my zen before bed. And thanks again for watching. Really appreciate you, and I hope your crafting is going better than some of my little barriers here. I will get through them. I always do. So you have a great time. Thanks for joining me.